Hello, this is Yellow Recap. Are you ready for this? Caution, spoilers ahead. Alright, picture this. With their flashlights incapacitated by radiation, the trio of divers resorts to wind-up lights, which fortunately fare better under the perilous circumstances. Outside, Legasov and Sherbina wait in apprehension, aware that the need to replace the divers could arise if they fail. Thankfully, this concern is unwarranted, as the divers successfully complete their mission and return surprisingly unharmed, a rare positive turn of events since the disaster. Lyudmila navigates her way to Moscow Hospital No. 6, where the majority of Chernobyl patients are being treated. After overcoming some obstacles with the receptionist and the attending doctor, Vetrova, who instructs her to spend a mere 30 minutes with him and ensures she isn't pregnant, she locates Vasily's room. Her delight knows no bounds when she finds Vasily and his fellow firefighters on the mend, seemingly with only superficial radiation burns. Returning to Chernobyl, Legasov finds himself in a heated debate with Sherbina. He's learned that the evacuation zone has been established at an arbitrary 30 kilometers distance from the plant, despite dangerous fallout being detected up to 200 km away. Sherbina explains the decision was made at a higher level, infuriating Legasov, who accuses Sherbina of prioritizing party loyalty over people's safety. Their argument is cut short by Pikolov, who reports the fire is nearly extinguished but the smothered reactor's temperature is sharply rising, signaling fuel meltdown. During the night, Lyudmila is awoken by Vasily's sudden deterioration. He screams in agony as doctors attempt to sedate him. Sherbina contacts Gorbachev, revealing the dire situation. There's a 50-50 chance the fuel meltdown will breach the plant's foundations, contaminating the groundwater that feeds into Kiev's river, the Dnieper. To avert catastrophe, a heat exchanger must be constructed beneath the plant. Gorbachev pledges resources for its construction, but Legasov intervenes, stating the exclusion zone isn't sufficient. Gorbachev, annoyed, shifts the topic and asks for a timeline. Legasov cynically remarks plutonium's 24,000-year half-life ensures resolution beyond their lifetimes, prompting Gorbachev to hang up. Sherbina gives Legasov a stern look and proposes they take a quiet stroll to discuss matters. Strolling through the quiet Pripyat streets, Legasov anticipates a rebuke for his Gorbachev comment, but Sherbina surprises him by inquiring about the fate of radiation-exposed workers and firefighters. Hesitating, Legasov details the progression: initial sickness, brief relief, rapid irreversible decline, cellular breakdown, and excruciating death. Those less exposed face fatal cancer within years, or if fortunate, decades. Sherbina's motive for the walk becomes apparent. The couple from the hotel bar were KGB agents, surveilling Legasov. Back at the hotel, Komyuk struggles to model the disaster's unfolding. Even on paper, the worst outcome is a meltdown, not an explosion. Equally baffled, Legasov advises her to visit Moscow and interview control room staff while they're alive. Cognizant of KGB involvement, he urges caution. Near Tula, outside a mine, Foreman Glukov amuses workers with japes about Soviet engineering's dysfunction as Minister of Coal Industries Mikhail Shatov appears. He informs the miners they've been chosen for a pivotal task at Chernobyl. Glukov demands the reason for risking his crew in such peril, and Shatov reluctantly discloses the impending meltdown and Kiev's water supply contamination. Satisfied, Glukov and his team head to Chernobyl after playfully coating Shatov's tailored attire with coal dust. In Moscow, Vasily's condition worsens, his hair mostly gone, his skin taking an unhealthy, almost corpse-like hue. His sight fading, he asks Lyudmila to depict the view outside the window. Reality shows unattractive buildings, yet she paints an idyllic picture of the city's renowned landmarks. Simultaneously, Komyuk reaches the hospital and tries to interrogate Dyatlov, not as afflicted as Vasily and his comrades, but still unwell, but he gripes about food and dismisses her brusquely. The diggers reach Chernobyl, and Glukov confers with Legasov and Sherbina. They advise honesty with the miners, outlining the risky task. Glukov questions the effectiveness of miners' gas masks, prompting Legasov's explanation. The next evening, the workers advance, facing harsh conditions. Glukov seeks cooling fans from Pikolov, denied due to radioactive dust risks. Komyuk locates Toptanov, who's in the final stages of acute radiation syndrome, barely conscious. Still coherent enough for an interview, he shares his age of 25, startling her due to his inexperience in charge of the reactor. Meanwhile, Vasily is transferred to another room, where Dr. Vetrova is surprised to find Lyudmila present for days, exceeding the supposed 30-minute limit. Lyudmila still resists accepting Vasily's condition as more than burns. but she's gradually acknowledging its terminal nature. Vetrova permits her to stay with Vasily a bit longer, as long as she remains outside the plastic isolation bubble. After Vetrova departs, Lyudmila defies instructions, entering the bubble to confide in her husband, barely conscious, his flesh seemingly decomposing on his living body, that she's pregnant. While the excavation proceeds, Sherbina delivers more positive news to Legasov. The fire is finally extinguished. Their subordinate startles them with the revelation that the miners, lacking fans, work in the nude. Legasov queries Glukov about this, conceding that it might not make them less safe. Glukov questions if his men will receive care afterward, leaving Sherbina unable to promise, leaving Glukov disheartened yet thankful for honesty. Toptanov concludes his interview with Komyuk, detailing a massive power surge in the reactor core, prompting Akimov to press the AZ-5 button to shut it down, resulting in an explosion. Komyuk questions the plausibility, but her interview with Akimov, off-screen due to his dire condition, verifies Toptanov's account. Passing Vasily's room, she observes Lyudmila in the isolation bubble, her demeanor hinting at pregnancy. Komyuk hurriedly removes Lyudmila, telling a stunned Dr. Vetrova about the pregnancy. Enraged, Komyuk vows to dismantle Vetrova's career and expose hospital negligence, until an unassuming man enters the corridor and prompts her to reiterate. She begins but stops when another man emerges, making her realize she's confessed her dissent in front of 2 KGB agents. On the next day, ahead of a subsequent briefing, Sherbina notifies Legasov about Komyuk's apprehension. During the briefing, Sherbina informs Gorbachev about the heat exchanger's timely progress to avert groundwater contamination. Legasov then outlines the extensive efforts needed to fully control the catastrophe, encompassing enlarging the exclusion zone, eliminating all fauna within, and constructing a containment structure around the ravaged reactor. General Nikolai Tarakhanov will oversee this coordination, succeeding Pikolov. Tarakhanov inquires about required manpower and risks. Legasov estimates 250,000 workers and anticipates thousands of fatalities. Post-briefing, Legasov confronts KGB Director Charkov, insisting on Komyuk's release. Charkov feigns ignorance initially, but faced with Legasov's willingness to take responsibility for Komyuk's actions, he agrees to release her. After Charkov departs, Sherbina jestingly labels Legasov a naive fool, a trait that poses no threat to anyone. As Komyuk's release documents are processed, Legasov gains access to her cell. She's more affected by the grim sight she witnessed in the ward, especially Akimov, whose face had decomposed, than her arrest. Sharing what Akimov and Toptanov disclosed, she ponders whether their belated reactor shutdown attempt might have contributed to the blast. Legasov briefly seems uneasy but encourages her investigation. However, he mentions she can't question Akimov or Toptanov, both of whom passed away after their conversation. Lyudmila departs Hospital No. 6, her expression revealing Vasily's demise. His body, along with colleagues, is sealed in lead-lined wooden coffins within steel ones. These are placed in a dug pit near a cemetery. Tearfully, Lyudmila and other widows watch a truck arrive, filling the pit with concrete, forever entombing their husbands' remains. This is the 3rd episode of the total of 5. Next episode is coming soon. Subscribe now to receive notifications for the Chernobyl and other upcoming movies. Thank you for watching.